was in information retrieval, which means I started building digital libraries and working with search engines right when I got out of school. This is back in the mid-90s. I spent some time working for search engine vendors. So these are companies that were making search engines at the time, went through a couple of acquisitions, ended up at Microsoft, and then started running large-scale knowledge discovery platforms at large corporates. I was at Comcast for about 8 years, and then came over to the UK to do the same thing. And this is right smack post-COVID. My role at Elsevier came to an end, and it was a bit tricky getting back into the workplace and finding the next role. And at that point, I shifted into starting up a consultancy, leveraging kind of the years that I've been working with large corporates, leveraging the experiences that we've been building for customers in this space. I decided to shift from running the search engines for these large companies into building solutions for individuals. And that brought me to where we are today, where I'm running this little consultancy that I call the AI Expert. As an AI consultant, when I first got into this business, so having spent all these years in large corporates, my assumption was I was just going to step right back into those large corporates and serve them back again. And the reality is that a lot of these companies have lots of people on staff, and they've got deep budgets, and they're really being asked to do more with what they already have. And so where I'm focused right now is really focused on that small and medium business player. And the reason I'm focused on that small and medium business owner is that it's a great opportunity to create an impact. Small businesses have a ton of domain knowledge about what they do and how their business works, but they don't have the time to sit down and figure out how to make their business operate faster or take advantage of some of these AI tools. So it's this sweet spot of companies in this area that have maybe 15, 20 employees that are doing well, but are hitting some ceilings and hitting some barriers. Another example of a client that we're working with, pharma now is trying to push out personalized content. But every piece of content that goes out into the public, whether it goes into a website or whether it goes into an email or a marketing campaign, has got to go through a legal review. So this creates a massive bottleneck inside their organization. And what we've built is we've built a set of AI agents that understand the regulations, understand what it takes to be compliant from both an industry perspective as well as from an internal brand perspective. And then we can automate that legal review process for them. So instead of it taking weeks and weeks for them to get to the review process, they can do it in just minutes and go through a checklist of things that are found with a full audit trail. From my perspective, I think where AI is going to drive the biggest impact is that it's a force multiplier for a lot of organizations. And so I get a lot of executives that come to me and say, Erik, when I think about AI inside my organization, can I use it to reduce my cost? Can I use it the conversation ends up being, listen, you don't want to take your organization and reduce your costs. You're at a place right now where you've got a healthy organization and you've got a ton of experts that know how your business works. But what AI is going to enable them to do is it's going to enable them to 10x themselves. So they'll be able to be more efficient. They'll be able to spend less time drafting an email and more time reviewing an email and sending it out. They'll be able to send a single email to multiple people with a personalized voice. They'll be able to. So these are all sort of use cases in the personal productivity space. Then where I think we're going to go next is that we're going to see AI start to reinvent our business processes. So we're going to use these automations and use these tools to now come up with workflows that I think if we were sitting here together and have a conversation about it, we couldn't imagine them. But the AI is going to identify where the lowest points of friction are, and it's going to connect those dots, and it's going to accelerate these workflows and create new ways to be more efficient. And when it comes back to the generic question about how do you justify the ROI of an AI investment to a CFO, it really comes down to let's make sure we're very clear on the business problems that we have. Where are our biggest costs? Where are our biggest opportunities? Where are our biggest areas of spend or waste inside the organization? You identify those clearly. We go in with AI, and we can go in at a fraction of the cost of what IT and SaaS software used to charge for us. So we can pull that out, and then we can go back and we can show this is the cost we removed from the organization. Look at the productivity gains that we've now gotten because we freed up this capacity to go work on other bigger problems. And then we can start getting those organizations into the space where they can start to innovate, which then generates new revenue.